Where to, Governor?
Bridges are for crossing the river. They certainly aren't places one would want to visit.
Philistine.
The Royal Scientific Institute, Kensington.
What are we doing here, sir?
We may be able to sell some of my possessions to the Institute to raise funds for the mission.
Where are we going to find the other £7,999 from, then?
I'll have you know that some of my possessions are very valuable indeed. That Ming vase of mine, for example. You know, the one you dropped when you were dusting it. Well, I'm sure I've got some other items that are worth selling.
What on earth is going on with the scaling? I decided to move the subtitles up one more notch. Let's see how we get on, but from the looks of things already, the voice acting flows a lot more smoothly, but the subtitles seem to go on at breakneck speed. Unfortunately, there is no middle ground.
Do you know anything about science, Mossop?
Not really, sir. I never went to school.
Why didn't you go to school?
Because I was too clever, sir.
Too clever? Are you sure that was the reason?
Well, they said they couldn't teach me anything, and that anything they told me went in one ear and out the other. My father said it was because my brain was full.
Your innate mental capabilities are handed down from your parents, then?
Correct, sir. They never went to school neither.
Are you interested in history, Mossop?
No, sir. My grandmother said that you should always live for the present, because nothing you've done in the past will matter in the future.
And what happened to her?
She was killed by her own boomerang.
I have nothing more to say to you.
Righty-ho, sir.
I love this building. It's old, majestic, and massive, just like my beloved British Empire.
Are we really going to watch him walk up every single step? Yes, we are.
Well, she looks like a very fashionable lady.
Keep your pantaloons on.
He stops the rabble getting in.
You can't go through there, sir. It's for historians and scientists only.
How do you know I'm not one of the cognoscenti?
You're dressed too tastefully, sir.
Please let me in. I'm a collector of antiquities.
I'm afraid you'll have to show me that you're a serious collector. This is an elite establishment. We can't let any old riffraff in.
You must let me in.
Is that owl still alive? I swear that I saw its eyes moving.
Let me through, or my manservant will bite you.
That wouldn't be wise on his part, sir. I fought in the Crimean War and killed 30 Russian dragoons with just my appendix.
I have come to visit the eminent writer and scientist Herbert George Wells.
Sorry, sir, he's gone away. He said he'd be back before anyone would even know he was gone.
Look, I've discovered the missing link.
Unless I'm much mistaken, that's your manservant, sir.
Yes, he was under my nose all the time. Isn't that amazing? You don't believe me, do you?
No, sir.
I have in my possession an incredible talking cat.
Sir, this is a respected scientific institute, not Barnum and Bailey's circus.
I won't talk with you now. I'm a busy man.
This is the reason why I had to return home first?
This is a worthless knick-knack I brought on my travels a few years ago.
Worthless knick-knack, eh?
This is part of my collection. Will this convince you that I deserve to be allowed in?
It's a nice piece. Late Phoenician. I'm sorry for doubting you, sir. You are a true aficionado. Please, go on through.
What did you just call me? How dare you?
But look at it! It's a monstrosity! It will never work.
You don't know what you're talking about, Tipple. Computing engines are the future of science. To ignore the calculating power of our analytical engine is folly.
But all the Institute's funds have been squandered on this oversized abacus. The future is in exploration. If you would only give me the staff necessary to complete my project.
Oh, yes, your project. To go to the moon? Tipple, you are a fool. Even if you got there, you would find nothing but dust.
That's where you're wrong. By my calculations, there is a resource on the moon of such quantity that the first people to stake a claim will be rich beyond their wildest dreams. And if this institute were to help me in my work, you could build all the analytical engines you wanted with the spoils.
We will not risk any of our staff on your wild goose chase, Tipple. Your plan for getting to the moon is reckless, untested, and probably suicidal.
We'll see who has the last laugh.
What is going on here?
That's Professor Tipple, one of London's more eccentric inventors. I think he's too irate to talk to at the moment. I should wait until he's calmed down a little. Pompous old academics. What would they know about anything? If they wouldn't reason with the professor, they certainly won't talk to me. What an amazing machine. It can analyze things. Well, I suppose it could help children with their schoolwork or something.
Kindly refrain from tampering with the exhibits.
He looks after the exhibits in the Institute. It appears that one can insert thin items into the engine via that slot. I've never seen anything like it. It might be something to do with the analytical engine. Maybe I can use this to help that little professor chap. It's covered in little holes placed in a precise pattern. Maybe if I were to make a few new holes, I could sabotage their machine.
That sounds like a plan, but let's see what's on this one first.
Good grief! All this amazing technology and all people want to do with it is play games. But I'm sure science will prevail. Computer games will never catch on. Maybe I can use this to help that little professor chap.
Alright, let's leave. We have more of London to explore. We will be back here later, but you may have already guessed that.
Where to, Governor?
I'm not going to Trafalgar Square until it's open season for pigeons.
Spoil sport.
The Highborn Club on Piccadilly. I've seen that chap so many times, but I just cannot remember his name. I don't think I've ever said any more than the most cursory greeting to him. Try to remain inconspicuous, Mossop.
May I ask why, sir?
This is a gentleman's club and servants are frowned upon. You shouldn't really be here at all.
Maybe I could pretend to be a gentleman, sir.
Oh, be serious, Mossop. I have nothing more to say to you.
Righty-ho, sir.
Good day, Mr. Fanshawe.
Hello, Pitter.
Potter.
sir.
Jolly good. He's one of the Highborn Club's servants. I try not to speak to servants unless it's strictly necessary. If I'm not mistaken, that's a glass of slow burn special reserve, a hideously expensive port drunk only by the most decadent of men. Smells diabolic, vitriolic, but above all, alcoholic.
What are we talking about here? The butler or the port?
I fear that even tasting such a drink will give me a severe case of gout. I will not deliver that drink to anyone. That's a job for the butler. Those are paintings of famous war heroes, famous for sending off thousands of men to fight on their behalf, that is. It's a box of Old Faithful, the most powerful snuff in the world. It must belong to one of the club members. I'm sure I can find a more practical use for this than sticking it up my nose.
You can try to stick it up someone else's nose.
This box of Old Faithful snuff powder is one of the strongest available, second only to gunpowder in terms of potency. I think it's designed to be taken through the nose, actually.
Whoops.
I don't partake in that sort of thing. Call me old-fashioned, but I believe the only thing that should go up one's nose is fresh, clean air. Mind you, ask Mossop. He probably says it's his finger.
What the hell is going on in this game?
That's the Earl of Lytton. I was at school with him. Hello there. You're the Earl of Lytton, aren't you? Do you remember me? Fanshawe, Piers Fanshawe. We were at school together.
Do you mind? I'm trying to concentrate on my shot.
Sorry, old chap.
Actually, Fanshawe, you can do me a favour. Run along and find that senile butler and tell him to bring me my port. I've been waiting minutes.
Good to see you too. That's the Earl's calling card. It identifies him as a member of royalty, albeit several thousandth in line to the throne. I don't think the Earl would appreciate me rifling through his possessions. He's one of the denizens of the Highborn Club, overpaid, oversexed, and over the hill. Gentlemen, I have returned.
Ah, Fanshawe. Long time no see. How are our American cousins?
Coming along quite nicely, considering they've had independence for almost a century now. They're getting the hang of it. Give them another 100 years and they'll probably be the major power on this planet.
What? Bigger than the British Empire? Well, that's preposterous. Who ever heard of such a thing?
One can't stand in the way of progress. Change is inevitable.
Balderdash! All this talk of progress and change, that's why we've got the British Army, to stop that sort of thing. If you're going to continue to spout such contemporary liberal nonsense, we may have to reconsider your membership of this club.
Actually, hold on.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
Ah, there we go. I thought there was more dialogue.
I'm in need of your help, gentlemen.
Help? What do you think this is, a charity, Fanshawe?
I need funds for a mission of worldwide importance.
Sorry, we only help the British. The rest of the world can take care of itself.
I require a loan.
I'm sure we can scrape together a few guineas between us. How much do you need?
£8,000?
You must be joking. We wouldn't pay that much to save the lives of our wives and children, let alone risk it on you.
I want to sell my manservant.
You mean the short, fat one who can only cook one thing and who can't stand travelling on boats?
That's right. Mossop is his name.
I wouldn't take him if you paid me. Common English servants are dreadfully passé nowadays. I just hired a new chap from France, Passepartout. He's bright, reliable, and saves me a fortune on butcher's bills by cooking things he finds in the garden, like snails and frogs.
I have a business proposition for you all.
Business, eh? Well, I think we're all men of the world here. What have you got in mind?
And does it involve putting small children and pit ponies down badly ventilated mine shafts? Or large and brutal machines which regularly entrap and hideously mangle their impoverished operators?
Good God, no.
Well, that's me out then. Stick to what you know best. That's my philosophy. Huh.
I'm setting up a ship chartering business.
Not very advisable at the moment, old boy, given this bally shipping blockade. Parliament has to authorise every ship's arrival or departure, and there's a 3-month waiting list. Only Her Majesty the Queen has the power to bypass these emergency regulations, so there's not much of a market for private shipping enterprises right now.
I want to operate sightseeing tours using a boat on the Thames.
I don't think even foreign tourists would want to be shown miles upon miles of common people using the world's largest open sewer.
I'm starting my own private navy.
There's nothing wrong with the Royal Navy, and they hire out to the highest bidder. They help smaller countries fight off aggressive neighbours.
And a lot of my best friends are sailors.
Anybody fancy a wager?
Why would we want to make a bet with you, rather than with a respectable bookmaker?
Because respectable bookmaker is a contradiction in terms.
So is gentlemen, for that matter. So pray tell, why should we make a wager with you?
Because I'm a member of this club, and therefore I am as trustworthy as you are.
We know how trustworthy we are. Therefore, that's not a very convincing argument. So I say again, sir, why you, and not a respectable bookmaker?
Because I give stupid odds.
How stupid?
100 to 1.
OK, you're on. What's the bet?
I bet I can travel around the world in 80 days.
Well, it's all very well, but what's the point? I mean, you end up where you started from. You have to travel through some of the most wretched hellholes on Earth, and that's before you've even reached the Channel. And hardly anywhere has duty-free shops yet, so you can't even stock up on cheap whiskey and cigars. It's a pointless exercise, man.
I bet I can find a cure for poverty.
Good heavens, don't do that, man. However else would we control the masses?
I bet Mossop can eat his own weight in lard.
It looks like he's done that already. That's no bet.
I wager I can get from here to Dinsey Island in a week.
Where on earth is Dinsey Island?
I don't know. No one knows. That's what makes it such a good bet. All I know is that it's in the tropics.
How will you get there? You don't have a ship, do you, Henshaw?
No, but I was hoping you'd let me borrow against my stake so that I could charter a ship.
In the interest of good sportsmanship, I don't see why not.
I see why not.
Kingpiece, what are you doing here, you rogue?
I'm a member of this club too, Piers, you know that. I have every right to be here.
This is a private matter between myself and these honourable gentlemen. Go and bother someone else.
Oh, Piers, you of all people know what an honourable person I am. I would be remiss in my duty as a gentleman if I turned a blind eye to the blatant confidence trick such as the one you are trying to pull on my friends here.
What? Explain yourself, Kingpiece. This is a serious accusation.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. This is a serious matter. My friend, Mr. Fanshawe, has offered you 100 to 1 odds for a perilous journey to an uncharted isle, correct? I regret to announce that he is deceiving you. The voyage is easy. You will lose your stake money for sure.
That's poppycock. I will stake my honour on it.
Would you stake your club membership on it? And offer to retire from polite society if you're proved wrong?
I stand by my word, sir.
What do you say to that, Kingpiece?
Well, friends, I suggest we give Mr. Fanshawe a run for his money. I will race him to Dinsey Island, and he must beat me to win the bet. And I have my own ship, fully crewed by experienced sailors and friends in the government, who will expedite my passage through the blockade. What do you say, gentlemen?
It's a good offer, and it means we don't have to pay for Fanshawe's ship. Kingpiece, you've got a deal.
But he's not part of the wager. He's just doing this to spite me.
We're changing the terms of the wager, Fanshawe, as is our right, being of the upper classes. You must beat young Kingpiece to this Dinsey Island place, or resign from this club and never set foot in London again. Agreed?
Agreed. But what happens if I win?
Oh, Piers, it's not the winning, it's the taking part. Got to go! I've got a ship to catch!
But how am I going to be able to compete with him when I haven't got a ship myself?
There may be a way for you to give yourself a fighting chance, Fanshawe. I've got a ship I'd be willing to gamble if the stakes were high enough.
You'd do that for me?
Only because you're a desperate man, and desperate men make silly wagers. Give me a high enough stake and a safe enough bet, and you could win my ship.
I think I may take you up on that.
Well, thank you for the offer. But what the hell happened there?
Fanshawe, if you haven't got a decent stake and a safe bet to gamble on for my ship, you'd better go out and try to find a way to get to this Dinsey Island place before Kingpiece does, or you won't like the consequences.
Yes, sir. Alright, let's go and spike this guy's drink and steal his identity.
They should give the Earl of Lytton a run for his money. I say, shouldn't you take that glass of port into his lordship? I think I heard him call for it.
Sorry, sir, but I didn't hear him. I'm a little deaf in my right ear. I'll take it in now.
Jolly good.
Oh, 3:30, sir.
Bottoms up, old chap.
Port! Where's my port? I need a little drinky to sharpen my aim. Ah, there you are, my little beauty. Come to Papa. I say, I think I have to go potty.
Are you okay there?
That's the Earl's calling card. It identifies him as a member of royalty, albeit several thousandth in line to the throne.
Alright, let's take it.
This could be useful if I wanted to pass myself off as royalty.
One of the added advantages to increasing the speed of the subtitles is that I get through the games.
Goodbye, Mr. Fanshawe.
Cheerio, Portly.
Potter, sir.
Excellent.
As I was saying, I'm getting through this game a bit quicker than I was before. I mean, during my test run, I was 5 minutes behind where I am now. Anyway, let's continue exploring.